Hey guys, this is V. Rigoni, Max, high performance real estate entrepreneur. Thanks for watching this. Here we're going to be answering some of your questions and comments that you've sent in. And let's get this thing rolling. My buddy Adam over here, he's the one helping me out. He's going to be, expressing the questions to me. So let's get it rolling.
The first question is going to be, how big of a role does sacrifice take in being successful in entrepreneurship?
Oh yeah, great question. Great question. It's everything. There is nothing that you can achieve that doesn't require sacrifice. You have to expect a certain amount of sacrifice. There's a certain amount of pain in everything you do. I mean, it's just the way life works. Otherwise, if it's all just easy, then it's all just entitled. If there is no pain, there's no gain. If there is, it's the price paid to action. There is a price you'll have to pay. Now, what does that say? How does that kind of once we start thinking about it from a theoretical standpoint, how do we talk about it in a practical way? Well, it's the fact that maybe you miss a birthday party. Am I talking about your kid's birthday party? No. I'm talking about maybe an extended family person's birthday party, or a friend's birthday party. Or you can't go out that Friday night because you got to be up at 4 a.m. to take care of a property, or 5 a.m. to do something. That's the kind of sacrifice we're talking about. We're talking about maybe sleeping a little bit less. Oh, I know all the experts are out there telling you need X amount of hours. You do, but you don't need it tomorrow night. So yes, there's a sacrifice because all commitments require activity, and activity tends to require a certain amount of sacrifice because there's always something more fun to do. Am I saying that becoming wealthy, being an entrepreneur is always fun? No, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of suffering, but the end result means that you get to live like no one else gets to live. And I know people are going to say, well, other people get to live like, yeah, let me say it again. You get to live again like no one else gets to live, like very few people ever get to live. You get to live your life the way you want to live it, with whomever you want to live it with, wherever and whenever. You get your financial freedom.
Is today, right? Yeah,
tonight's Super Bowl. Yeah. That's right. So, Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. To most people, it's just like, oh, it's just one day. I'm going to just stay and watch football. But how is this an example of consumerism affecting middle-class people and even lower-class people?
Well, because they buy into it. Now, again, am I against you going to watch the Super Bowl game? No. Now, if you got a tenant moving in tomorrow morning, and the guy that's supposed to be there doing some work doesn't do it, well, that's where the sacrifice comes in. That's where getting out there and doing what you need to do in order to get that tenant in tomorrow morning, you're going to do it. But outside of something of that nature, go enjoy the game. But understand, what are people going to do? They're going to bet millions and millions of dollars today on the game. Who scores the first points and anything that they can verify. I heard that they allow you to, you're allowed to bet on anything that can be verified by an official at the game. In other words, who's going to score the first point or that kind of stuff. In other words, you can't bet on what Taylor Swift is going to wear tonight through DraftKings, okay, or any of those other type programs because it's not allowed. But you can bet on whether or not Kelsey scores the first touchdown. So all these people are into this bullshit, but, well, how stupid. You think you're going to get wealthy betting on sports? You think you're going to get wealthy gambling? Have you ever figured out that the odds are not in your favor? Yeah, you can win tonight and you can win tomorrow night. In the end, you will lose. That's not being an entrepreneur. That's not being an investor. That's being a gambler. Good luck with that. But it sucks up time. If you've watched every game up to this point of your favorite team, no matter what else you could have been doing, and you even took time away from your family, well, that's stupid. That's damn stupid. When I tell you don't miss a party, or I tell you can go ahead and miss, you got to be able to miss some things, some family events. I'm not talking about miss them so you can watch your basketball game, your football game. I'm talking about you're missing something so that when you can achieve the financial freedom that they then get the benefit from, that there'll be a benefit for your family also by your financial success. You just watching a bunch of sports all year long is just some lazy ass shit. So hate me.
So you got the Dave Ramsey's going around saying just use cash, set aside like cash in envelopes to pay certain bills off, stuff like that. So, there's a stigma of that, like all debt is bad debt, but how does someone actually take advantage of debt?
Well, that's really a good observation. Great question. So basically what we're talking about here is 85% of what Dave Ramsey says, I agree with 100%. There is 15 to 20% of it that I absolutely disagree with vehemently. In other words, when you're first starting out, when I first started out there, you could go to the store at Hallmark or one of these stores, a card store or an office store, and you could buy a book that had different envelopes in it. And you could label each envelope for each each bill that you had to pay the electric bill, and you'd put the cash in there. And it was a way to get your life started. I get it. Okay. We weren't that sophisticated as you guys are right now. We did it the simple way. But sometimes the simple way still works. Now, for most of the people that Dave Ramsey talks about, he's just trying to get them to not be in huge credit card debt, consumer debt, where people think that in this world, they think that if they buy a jet ski, that's an asset. No, it's a liability. You got to pay the insurance on it. You got to put the gas in it. You got to pay the credit card bill on it or the installment payment on it. You see, he's trying to get you to understand that what you buy on these levels, they should all be cash. Yeah, he says you can go ahead and get a mortgage on a house, but he's only talking about 20% down on your residential home, the home you're going to live in. He doesn't believe in debt that you're going to use in order to generate, to buy an asset, to create an asset that will then pay you beyond the cost of the debt, beyond carrying cost of the debt. Well, to me, that's ridiculous. The buildings that he's in, the radio stations that he broadcasts from, if they didn't apply debt in those buildings and in those businesses, he wouldn't be there. So when you're in business, to get the debt for business is acceptable. It's good debt. Real estate debt is good debt. Debt that allows you to buy an asset that's going to produce you income, good debt. Consumer debt will destroy you. And when you're going to buy a house and it's going to be for yourself, you should minimize how much you're going to spend because a house is an expense to you. That's right. Oh, they say it's an asset. Yes, but it's not an income-producing asset. You got to pay the taxes. You got to pay the mortgage. You got to pay the insurance. You got to pay the upkeep. So keep that purchase under control. Do not go out and spend to the maximum that the real estate agent and the loan officer says that you can buy. Why? Because they work on commissions. The more you spend, the more they make. So understand, consumer debt, bad debt. Mortgage debt for a home you're going to live in, keep it to the minimum. Business debt, entrepreneurial debt, real estate debt. That's debt that creates assets, and then those assets pay you income. That's where we're coming from. Talk to you soon. What do I always say? Let's get out there. Let's make it happen. Think big, start now, and grow fast.